If you're thinking about traveling solo or you've already booked your first solo trip and you're looking for some more advice and tips, then keep watching this video.
Hi, I'm Rachel and welcome to my channel. I have been solo traveling for about 3 years now and I'm also a photographer and content creator.
Welcome to part 2 of my 2-part solo travel series. In my last video, I covered things you need to bring and financial tips, but in this one, we're going to get into some nitty-gritty tips like health and wellness tips, especially for long-term trips. And I'm going to end the series on safety tips because, of course, that is the most important thing when you're traveling solo. So make sure you stick around.
Now let's get started. So when it comes to your mental well-being and the social side of traveling, my suggestions to help you out there would be to consider staying in a hostel because you're going to be around other travelers and you're not going to have to worry about being lonely as much. Now I know that's not for some people. I enjoy having my own privacy and my own bathroom and my own room. So staying in a dorm isn't ideal for me. I did stay in one hostel on my Europe trip, but it was like a little pod and everything was enclosed and it had like a curtain. So you had some level of privacy and I was willing to do that and save some money because everything else was very expensive. But for the most part, I prefer not to stay in hostels. So in those situations, in order to meet people, you do have to make a bit more of an effort. I like to book a day tour of some sort because then you can start speaking to other travelers there, or even a food tour is a good one to meet new people. Another thing you can do is when you go to a restaurant to eat, ask to eat at the bar and then you can talk to the bartender and people are going to be more likely at the bar to talk to you anyway. Another way is through Facebook groups and using the internet to meet other people. I feel like there's Facebook groups for everything, every hobby, every destination. If you're into something, you will find your niche in a Facebook group. Obviously use caution, check out their profile, make sure they're not, crazy people. You always can never be too careful with the internet. Make sure you tell people back home what you're doing so they know who you're meeting with. But yeah, that could definitely be a good way to combat the social side of traveling alone and help you mentally with that so you're not feeling lonely. Another important thing is to make sure you go easy on yourself. I know for me, especially for my 3-month Europe trip, I was so hard on myself for not getting up early enough, running out of time and not being able to do something that I had originally planned, wasting time trying to decide things. Like, I was quite hard on myself, and if I could go back and be easier on myself, I would. And for future trips, I definitely will be. You're in a foreign country, you're on your own, you're not a superhuman, you're not going to be able to fit everything in. Just pick and choose a few things, be more casual about it, and just go easy on yourself. I also recommend taking rest days, again, especially if it's a long trip. I didn't do that for the first 1.5 months and I ended up getting extremely sick. So that was not fun for your own physical health as well as your mental health. Just take a rest day. It's okay to sleep in and only do something in the afternoon. It's okay to even just spend a day in your hotel room watching TV. For me, while rainy and bad weather days were annoying, at the same time, they were a good reminder and opportunity to take a rest. So use the weather as a good cue to make sure you do that, and make sure you treat yourself a little, especially at the end of your trip. For your last location that you're staying at, book a nice hotel for at least 1 or 2 nights. I did not do this and I regret it so much. I had problems with my last hotel, which was in Dubai. It was dirty, it was gross, it wasn't as advertised, and it just made the last few days not as enjoyable. Just make things easier on yourself and book a nice place for the end of your trip. Now on to physical health and physical well-being. Of course, doing your stretches and exercises is going to help you throughout your trip, especially when it comes to having to carry your luggage. You want to do your stretches for your arms. I didn't do that enough and I regret that. I would get back from a day of traveling, my back would be really sore, my arms would be weak, and it wasn't fun. So don't overpack so you're not overexerting yourself there when it comes to carrying your luggage. And never ever push yourself physically when you're traveling solo. There's no one to look out for you. If you break your ankle or your wrist or fall down a cliff or something, there is no one to look out for you for that. So don't push yourself. I know for me, I like to do some hiking, but I also have a fear of heights and stuff. So if I start doing a trail and it starts making me nervous, I'm not going to just push through. If something does happen and I slip and I fall and I hurt myself, I'm not going to be able to get off that trail. So I just turn and go back. And there's no shame in that. It's all about looking after yourself and making sure that you're safe. And of course, the last thing I like to do to ensure I stay physically healthy while I'm on a solo trip, especially a long trip, is vitamins. So vitamins are obviously going to be an important way to get the nutrients your body needs, because sometimes you're on a budget. You can't always eat the best foods. You're not always going to have access to a place to cook your own meals. So you need something to make sure you're getting the good stuff in you, and vitamins are the way to go. Obviously, with everything I'm saying, make sure you check with your doctor before starting random vitamins. These are what I like to use. Instead of getting those gummies that are full of like sugar and stuff, or the capsules that are all like synthetic materials, I like to get beef liver. Beef liver has all the vitamins you need, like everything. I'll list them all here because I don't know them off memory, but like this is like everything it has right here, if you can see. So with this particular brand, it's a good one because it's organic and all grass-fed. Literally the only ingredient listed is the beef liver. There's no other ingredients. Stuff like that's important. Now, obviously when you're traveling, you don't want to be carrying all these supplements with you. So I think you can get away with just the beef liver. And I know it's not going to be an option for everyone. If you're maybe vegetarian or something, then you can go with just good old vitamin C. I like to go with whole food vitamin C supplement because it's getting the vitamin C from different fruits and plants. Because a lot of the time when you look at vitamin C, it's going to say vitamin C as ascorbic acid, and so it's a different thing. But do your own research when it comes to that. This is a good brand. It's called Life. The vitamin C is derived from like fruits. Otherwise, just look for other like naturally derived vitamin C supplements. That's just me personally. You do you. But I think vitamins are definitely a good way to ensure you're getting everything that you need while you're traveling, because it can be hard. And again, I am not a doctor. Consult your doctor before starting any supplements. And finally, we're on to category 4, the last category of this video, and that is safety tips, because of course your safety is the most important thing when you're traveling solo.
In part 1, I mentioned some physical items you can bring with you to keep yourself safe, but
this part is going to be more about things you can do yourself to make yourself safe. Don't tell anyone you're on a solo trip. Don't be afraid to lie, especially for us women out there. You can sometimes get asked lots of questions that you don't feel comfortable answering. If people ask you what you're doing, say you're waiting for your friend to come pick you up. Your friend's working and you're just exploring and you're going to meet up with them later. Your family's just over there around the corner. You're just waiting for them to come. The only time I'll tell other people that I'm solo traveling is if they're other solo travelers, or if I'm on like a tour group with other travelers. But when I'm just walking around, I've had people talk to me at a bus stop before asking all these questions, and I just came up with random stuff. You don't want to be telling someone where you're staying, how long you're there for, and stuff like that. So just lie. Say you're about to leave tomorrow, sorry. Be very general on the city where you're staying. Don't make out that you don't know where it is, because that could also cause problems. But just feel free to lie and come up with whatever backstory you want if you start getting questions from people that you don't feel comfortable speaking to. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to lie. So for the fellow solo female travelers out there, getting a fake wedding ring and wearing that on your wedding finger could be a good way to go if you find yourself getting unwanted male attention. Personally, I didn't have that problem. I'm not really one to go to bars or go out at night when I'm solo traveling, but I know a lot of people enjoy the nightlife aspect of it. You don't want to go alone, go with other travelers that you have met, but that doesn't stop men from seeing you and trying to make advances and stuff. So wearing the ring could help. You should also bring many different forms of payment, multiple credit cards if you have them, and hide them in different areas. Make sure you always have some cash and a credit card in your hotel room and on your personal body. Keep it everywhere. Have some stuff in your wallet, maybe wear a money belt to put backup cash, hide in your shoe or something, like whatever you feel comfortable doing. Have some extra money on you, that way if you get pickpocketed, you have something to get you through the rest of the trip. Avoid any flashy jewelry and expensive clothing. You don't want to make yourself a target. I like to go places early in the morning before the crowds come. That way you don't have to worry about pickpocketers and stuff like that, and you get the place to yourself. It's better for photos, and it's a win-win. Do not post in real time on social media. You never know who's watching. If you have a private account, maybe it's okay, but if your account is not private, like you do not know who's watching. You don't know who could try and follow you around. Wait until you've left that certain city until you start posting about it. And my final tip for you guys is keep track of your belongings. It may sound obvious, and this is something that you need to do anyway on a daily basis whenever you're in your home city too. But when you're traveling, when you lose something, it just makes life so much harder. A lot of things are replaceable, but you don't want to have to waste your money and buy it again. If you can just keep it with you, then that is really what you should be doing. You want to try and ensure that you do everything you can so that things don't go wrong, because there's a lot of things that can go wrong out of your control, but you want to make sure that you don't make things go wrong that are like in your control. There have been a few times for me where I have put my phone down on the table travel and then I forget to get it. Getting one of these wrist attachments helps. I just attached it to my case. Also makes it harder for people to try and steal it out of your hand if you have something like this. So I just got this off Amazon. There are even better ones you can get that go around your body, like a crossbody bag, and apparently those are even better. But I would just like gauge where you're going. This was fine for me on my Europe trip. I didn't have a problem. Definitely recommend doing that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful for your next solo adventure. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I wish you the best of luck on your solo trips. You are gonna love it. Solo travel is amazing and a little addictive. I know this video is kind of information overload, but the more you do it, the more you get used to these things, the more you're gonna naturally just apply them. So you'll be fine. Practice makes perfect. Take notes down for certain things, maybe if you feel like you might forget them. And of course, enjoy your trip, trust your instincts, and stay safe. See you guys in the next one.